Hey everyone, it's Jason here with Horology Middle East, and today I'm going to talk to you about the beautiful Lange Söhne Saxonia moon phase. This is a new watch for 2016. It was originally announced at SIHH earlier in the year, and it's offered with both a pink gold or a white gold case. With either reference, the retail price is set at $29,000, and both cases measure 40 millimeters in diameter and about 9.8 millimeters thick. Now, in terms of usability, this watch I think has a lot going for it, and part of the reason that's the case is because you've got individual controls for all of the complications that you can see on the watch. So the 10 o'clock position here, you can see a pusher, and that allows you to manipulate the oversized date. You've got the crown at the 3 o'clock position, and if I pull the crown out, you can see that it stops the running seconds hand. So it's basically a hacking movement. I'll push it back in. And here at the kind of the 4 o'clock position, you've got a corrector, and that's for the moon phase indicator. The case itself, you've got high polish on the bezel. Each of the lugs is again finished with high polish, and on the side of the case here, you've got kind of satin finish. On the back of the case, you've obviously got a sapphire case back to see that beautiful caliber, which I'll talk to you about a bit later. But you've also got a brushed, you've also got a brush finish on the circumference of this case back. Now, in terms of the dial itself, you've got an silver opaline dial. You've got applied indexes all around, and the nice thing is at the 12, 3, 6, and 9 o'clock positions, you've got double baton indicators, whereas the 1, 2, 3, 4, as you can see, those are just single baton indicators. The dial is beautifully balanced. You have the oversized date window at 12, and one thing I'm surprised about is, despite the fact that the oversized date indicator is a pretty big calling card for Lange, it's something that they've had for years. That's actually not mentioned in the name. The watch is just called the Saxonia moon phase. It's not called the Saxonia moon phase date. But yeah, that was just something that I found quite interesting. At the 6 o'clock position, as I said, you've got the running seconds hand as well as the moon phase indication. You can't see it in the video, but so the half of this disc is, or half of the subdial if you want, it's actually got this grain finish on it, and that's a nice little touch that you'll see if you uh, bring a loop to this watch. Lange has been doing moon phase watches for quite a few years now. They introduced the first moon phase watch, the Lange 1 moon phase, back in 2001. And this watch is actually powered by the 16th caliber that has a moon phase complication. I'll talk about the caliber a little bit later because Lange has been making improvements to that as well. But they've also been improving the way that they produce the moon phase disc that you see here. Now, in this case, depending on the case material that you have, the disc is also made from that material. So in the case of this watch, which is a pink gold case, you get a pink gold disc, whereas if you had the white gold case, you would get a white gold disc. On top of that disc, what Lange does is they apply this transparent treatment. And although it's transparent, your eyes actually perceive it as blue, which is how you have this beautiful kind of blue look that you see here. To create the stars and the moon, Lange basically uses a laser engraving technique, and that cuts out, the individual stars in the moon that you can see. Because they remove a bit of material, and some of that treatment goes with that, the color that you see here, and which in this case it's pink gold, that's actually the color of the disc coming through where the laser engraver has done the work. So if you have the pink gold, if you have the white gold reference, you'd see white gold stars and moon. So that's a pretty interesting way of doing it. Lange really puts a lot of attention into these moon phase discs, and in fact, this disc has 852 individual stars on it. That's pretty amazing. I haven't sat and counted myself, but this is what I've heard. This is what Lange has told me, and I have no reason to doubt them. Now, in terms of the caliber, let me just flip the watch over. This is one of the great things with Lange. Regardless of whether you look at the front of the watch or the back of the watch, there's just so much to look at. It's all beautifully done, well finished. This is the In this case, you've got the Lange L086.5 automatic caliber. It has 325 individual parts, beats at about 3 hertz, and it has a power reserve of 72 hours when it's fully wound. It's an automatic caliber, of course, as you can see, and of course you've got a gold rotating mass, and you've also got a platinum tip to help the rotor move more efficiently. Now, in terms of the moon phase indication, as I said earlier, this is the 16th caliber that Lang has produced, which has got a moon phase complication. And in this case, they actually say that the moon phase indication is about 99.998% accurate. And obviously, it's going to be hard for anyone to verify that claim because the watch is very new. And the interesting thing is that Lang says that if the watch runs constantly and you've set it correctly to start with, you won't have to adjust the moon phase for 122.6 years. And even if you do, uh, you'll have to adjust it only by a day after that 122.6 years. And that's really, really incredible. Obviously, I'm sure that no one's had the chance to test that yet or won't have that chance for a long time because the watch is very new and 122 years is a long, long, long time. But I'm sure that Lang has done their own internal uh, checking and computer simulations to kind of figure that out. So that's really impressive. Now, in terms of the caliber itself and the finishing that you get, Lang is a pretty traditional German brand, so they have a distinctly different approach to designing and finishing their calibers compared to, say, some of the Swiss brands. The Swiss brands tend to favor movements that look pretty busy. You'll have multiple bridges, you'll have the full or as much of the gear train exposed as possible, and you'll have all the finishing flourishes. With Lang being a German brand, they've adopted this kind of more traditional German approach, and what that means is that on a lot of the watches you'll see one big uh, bridge or plate, and that is made from untreated German silver. The nice thing with that is that it develops a patina over time. So after a few years, you'll notice that it looks slightly different to what it looked like when you first got it. If you don't actually like that, when you send the watch in for service, you can actually ask Lang to remove the patina, and they can do it very easily and bring it back to the way it looked when you got it. So you have both options, and personally, I think the patina is what adds to the charm and character of the watch after you've had it for a few years. Now, in terms of this caliber, so as I say, you have the three-quarter German plate there. You've got Glashütte ribbing across the plate. You've got a lot of perlage that you can see on the circumference of the caliber. You've got a hand engraved balance cock. You can see this one neck regulator. I hope that comes through. In case none of these details are showing particularly well in this video, I'll put in a link to Horology Middle East because I'll have a lot of macro shots up there so you can actually sit and look at this movement up close. You've also got on the edge of this plate, you've also got chamfered edges. This is all done by hand, by the way. Lang is a brand that puts a lot of effort into their finishing, and a lot of the work that they do is by hand. So you really are getting a watch that has been worked on by, or has passed through a number of people's hands by the time you get it on your wrist. Overall, I think it's a really beautiful movement. I mean, there are some people who say that they prefer the Swiss way because they want to see a lot of gears and all that, but I think Lang's approach is even more elegant and even more beautiful because they kind of give you more by giving you less. You see less gears, less individual parts, but what you do see is fantastic, and there's something that this is something that you can look at for years without ever getting bored. So again, overall, I think this is another fantastic Lang caliber. It looks really, really beautiful, really pleasing to the eye. Uh, it's just these watches are just beautiful to look at from the front or the back. So let me just put the watch on very quickly now so you can see what it looks like on the wrist. Just give me a quick second. Here we go. Okay, just give it a wipe down. So this is a 40 millimeter case, and I have 7.2-inch wrists, and I think the watch fits my wrist beautifully. I think it's 40 millimeters is a little too big to consider a classic dress watch. That would probably be about 36 or 37 millimeters. But I think this is a very dressy piece. Looks very elegant, uh, beautifully finished, feels great on the arm. So you could wear this watch with a suit, with formal clothing. If you want a Saxonia Moonface for every day and you're not always in formals, I would almost recommend that you look at the white gold reference because, as you know, white gold looks like steel, and with a black strap, I think you could easily wear the white gold reference as an everyday watch with jeans and a polo, or even trousers and a polo shirt. This watch with a rose gold case, or pink gold case rather, and this beautiful brown leather strap, I think this lends itself more to be worn with formal clothes and or even a suit. The nice thing is you also get on this watch a very traditional pin buckle. I tend to prefer these to deploy in class because I think it just adds a little bit of that old world charm to the watch. I think in this case it fits perfectly with the rest of the watch. And yeah, overall I think Lang has done a fantastic job with this piece. It's just a work of art. It's really beautiful. I'm just trying to aim it at the light now to show you some of the tricks it can do. And yeah, overall I think it's a beautiful piece, one that you should definitely head out to the boutique and check out. If you have any comments or questions, please do just drop them below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And if you found this video useful, please do like and share it. And as always, please do subscribe to my channel so you get an update whenever I put up the next video. That's it for now, guys. Thanks for watching.